And boy, it was hard for me to narrow down just one hot topic because, we
Mm.
got plenty of things
Yeah,
going on.
plenty of issues we got.
My God. But I thought it was very interesting uh, to hear about the kidnapping of embassy
Hmm.
staff member, a Bahamian, not a Bahamian person, but a staff member in the embassy, the Bahamian embassy in Haiti. Um, because I still ain't sure if that person, have they ever said what nationality that person is?
Yeah, I don't know. Never said.
Been very quiet, don't you think,
Yeah.
about that whole
Yeah, that's
incident?
Haiti is a volatile situation right now, and
Yeah,
after the assassination of the former president, it seems as if they went into a leadership vacuum,
right.
and you have rival gangs from different corners are now, I guess, flexing their muscles and their power.
Hmm.
There's great political instability. There's economic instability, and I think Haiti just needs leadership,
Well,
and that is not what Haiti is having right now. So what you're gonna have is you're gonna have chaos and anarchy.
well, here's the thing. I'm calling this a kidnapping chaos, and here's the thing: the kidnapping is only an aspect of what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah.
You got this kidnapping, you got utter chaos going on over there, and you have what is being described as it will be, if they continue along this trend, a record-breaking number of immigrants making their way to the Bahamas,
Yeah.
trying to escape the madness over there, and yet leadership seems lost
Yeah.
when it
And
comes to what we can do to deal with the situation. Um, because some people saying this really ain't our headache, but it is our headache.
it is a headache. I just got a call 2 minutes ago from Harbor Island,
Hmm.
and they're saying they're being overrun by illegal
So
immigrants.
I understand.
And it's across the entire Bahamas from the I guess the guy from the embassy had talked about 150,000 Haitians in the Bahamas.
Right.
In probably 5 years we'll be overrun because I'm sure that number will grow exponentially. And so, while we don't have a problem with migration, we have a problem with illegal immigration, people who come to our country through the wrong channels. If you come to the right channels, if you have work permit, then you have a right to be here, sure. But if you're hopping on a boat and you are coming to the wrong channels, we have a problem with that. And, our country cannot sustain the load because we are not, we're already burdened down with heavy debt. We're burdened down with an educational system that is struggling right now. The health system is in crisis now. And so basically the infrastructure that needs to support additional individuals can't support no more. And I think we have to really wake up and say, listen, we need help, and but we cannot be, for the longest, so we've been playing possum with the Haitian community. You could come, but we'll give you citizenship. We'll come, we'll give you voters card, come. And so they know that. And so we've been playing possum with them for so long. If we're going to take a position, let's take the position. The position is, if you here illegally and you're not permitted to work in the Bahamas, and you have to be deported, you have to go. I think the minister administration, when they first came in office, the first 2 weeks, he said, okay, I'm giving you all a deadline next week. And a whole year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years gone, and he ain't do nothing but it. And so, it's that we have a problem with leadership in our country. The same way Haiti is struggling with a leadership crisis, we have the same problem. The challenge is that we like them, we are not doing what we need to do. And so for us, though, Michelle, I think it's imperative that we really put our foot down when it comes to illegal immigration, because it's going to overwhelm. It's going to change the dynamics, the culture, the I guess the whole ambiance of the Bahamas if we don't fix it.
It already is.
Yeah, it's changing, and it will change even more. It's as if somebody, you have a home and there are people who breaking into the window. If you're coming into the window and sneaking into the back door, that's not acceptable.
Hmm.
If you come into the front door, you knock and I invite you, and then that's acceptable. But I didn't invite you and you came to the window, and these people are coming through the windows, and they are overrunning and overwhelming our society. Yes, they are doing some I guess remedial work, construction industry, but they're not doing that for free. They're working. And so, yes, they're cutting grass, and yes, they're doing landscaping and that, but they are being paid to do that. And so for us, though, we have to say that, we got to put our foot down. But the problem is they only exist because we have a vacuum. We have a vacuum in the construction industry. We have a vacuum in the landscaping industry. And so they fill the vacuum. If there was no vacuum to fill, they would have keep going. But because we have the vacuum, they're filling our vacuum.
I think a big part of a big problem that many Bahamians have when it comes to this, and just for the record, while the largest population of illegal immigrants in the country is obviously from Haiti, we're seeing an uptick in Cubans
Mhm.
because, with the Russia Ukraine war, Cuba is obviously having a difficult time getting the support that they normally would get from Russia.
Mhm.
And so that's creating even more hardship in Cuba. So now we're seeing an increase in Cubans. But clearly, the Haitians make up the majority of the illegal immigrant population. So this is why, the conversation is really focusing there, but it's not to say that it's limited to the people from Haiti. But I think a part of the problem that many Bahamians have is that it seems that I hear what you're saying about the vacuum, and I agree. But it seems that many Bahamians are feeling disenfranchised in the country because they're trying to do things the right way and they're being turned around and not being given opportunities to own land, for instance. Um, but yet the persons coming here legally just go and take up residence wherever they want to. They go
Mhm.
in the bush, they find a piece of land, they cut down, they start building. And then they have an attitude when you tell them they got to come off your land. I
Y-
saw a video the other night that alarmed me,
mhm.
um, where this young man who claims to be the owner of this property was trying to get uh, this man who he said he went to the courts. The courts gave them an eviction notice. They give the finger to the court.
Mhm.
They ain't going nowhere.
Mhm.
And they were actually threatening this young man
Mhm.
for his own property.
Mhm. Mhm.
See, now,
It happens. It's happening. You know, once again, without the absence of the enforcement of law, then you get anarchy and chaos,
hmm
and that's what we're having. However, there is also a parallel argument that we can have here. A lot of the Haitians that are occupying territory in the Bahamas are subleasing from a Bahamian. So that's another argument.
hmm
And so, while there are some who are squatting and trying to take land, there are some who are occupying but subleasing. And so the question is, though, where does the law fit in all of this here? You know, do you allow subleasing for illegal immigrants? Now we have certain laws under the the UN conventions
hmm
that prohibits us from denying them access to one education, healthcare. You can't deny. So they have to, if they get sick, they have to see a hospital. If they want to go to school, they got to go to school. So those are some conventions that we've signed on too. However, I understand that. However, we have to be able to say, listen, if you are here and you are illegal, then we need to repatriate you. The trouble is, though, is that the Bahamas right now, we don't have much money. And the little piece of dollars, couple of dollars we got to take that to ship you back can stretch because that money that we taking out to export you back could have gone towards education, paying the teachers. And everybody's arguing for a raise and we arguing for increase in pay. So if we got to take the money to ship these people back constantly on a consistent basis, we're shifting money from one place to the next. And so that is a struggle that we're having as a country. And I mean, no politician will say this, but really, the Bahamas, while we have money in our budget, we don't really have any money because every fiscal year we have to borrow additional money just to exist as a country. And so, as a broke nation, as a country that is running on a deficit, we don't have much money to play around to be shipping people back and forth, find money to pay the teachers, the nurses, the doctors, and this one row and this union want more money, that union want more money, and all the unions know you know more money to want, but they still want it. But that's their job anyway. But the question is though, we have a society that we have over the last 50 years that we've built and coupled with so much different problems, it is now when we look at it under a microscope, I'm not sure whether or not we are succeeding because after 50 years as an independent nation, to have your debt higher than your GDP is a very scary thing. After 50 years as a nation, to still be haggling over a D average in education, it's a very serious thing. After 50 years as an independent nation, to have your healthcare system to be, I guess, in wanting, it's a very serious thing. After 50 years as a nation, they can't control immigration, they can't control litter on the streets, they can't control crime. It is, from all facets, it seems as if we're crumbling. But we learn to adjust and to make everything look like it's okay. It is not okay. It is not okay to have a society where you're afraid to walk the streets. It's not okay for a man who trying to part a fight to get shoot. It's not okay. That is not okay. That is never okay. And I remember one time, Michelle, let me tell you how sick we are as a society. I was telling some young people in the youth branch of the organization to write a report on the amount of killings among young people,
Hmm.
and they didn't do it. So the next week when I met with them, I asked them, I said, why didn't you all write the report? He said, Mr. Stewart, don't worry about that. Somebody can get killed tomorrow anyway.
Wow.
And I said the same thing. They're so desensitized now. They know somebody can get killed tomorrow. So we could write that report anytime. We could write a statement on the murder anytime. But that's where we are as a society.
So this may be an unpopular uh, trend of thought. We know that it costs money to repatriate these people, those that are caught. Because I say for everyone that's caught, there's probably 10 out there that have not been caught.
Mhm.
That's not scientifically, that's just my thoughts. Why we got to pay to repatriate them when these people clearly don't say, oh, they poor people, they ain't that poor. Because how many millions of dollars they export from this country every year?
How we can get the money from? Let them buy their own ticketing.
Make them pay.
How?
What you mean how?
Hmm?
Either you find money to pay or you go to jail. And I know jail overruns, so
And
that's
then,
not really the
but then that's
case.
another cost.
Right. But here's the thing. But here's
So-
the thing. You can't tell me you don't have money when millions upon millions of dollars are sent out of this country into Haiti every year. When you found thousands of dollars to jump on the boat to come here to begin with, right? Um, and I don't understand why we're not putting more pressure on the Haitian government to make them at least.
What government? They ain't got no government.
No, they do have an embassy here. But
So-
I hear your point.
So that crisis, unless we
And also, why are we not making them pay for the education that we're providing and the healthcare that we're providing? Why is that for free?
Mhm.
I'm not saying you shouldn't provide it,
Mhm.
but why is it for free?
well, like I said, we have signed on to some conventions, and we have
Does the convention say
you
it
know,
has to be free?
we have, I mean, but our system, we have almost a semi-social system, right?
What does that mean?
In other words, hospitals are free, education is free. That's a tenet of socialism.
Hospital and education are free for citizens of the Bahamas.
Yeah. However, if somebody comes into your hospital, you cannot deny them, because the possibility of germ spreading and the possibility of the outbreak of something, if you could contain that, then it would be on you. And so
I ain't
that is
saying deny them.
that
I'm
is
just
that
saying make
is
them pay for the service.
that is a challenge. The challenge is now, whether Haitians or Bahamians, nobody won't pay for the service. That's the challenge PMHA is facing, because you walk in there, you figure we have the mentality that I ain't got to pay for nothing. Now, the doctors got to get paid, the teachers got to be paid, they got to buy material and equipment and so on and so on. But we don't want to pay for nothing when we go into the hospital.
Yeah,
So-
but citizens of this country could argue that we paying taxes. I ain't saying it's right, but they could argue we paying taxes.
They could argue that too.
How,
They pay the same VAT tax we pay.
man? Don't do it.
You understand?
Don't do it.
So
Don't do
but
it.
you see what I'm saying, right?
Don't do it.
The issue is no the issue.
Because when we have to pay real property tax, when we got to pay national insurance, when we got to pay all these other things that we got to pay, that don't quite add up. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that we should deny people access to education or healthcare. All I'm saying is there's a cost attached to that that should be paid if you are not in this country legally.
Well, I don't have no you don't have no argument with me. I'm just saying to you that listen, right now where we are as a nation, we have a responsibility to our citizens.
Yes.
And that is primarily our primary responsibility is to our citizens. However, the citizens got to understand that there is a load to carry as well too.
Yeah.
But we don't want to carry no load. we're talking about the hospital in particular. The hospital will never get better because everybody figure everything is free. Now, doctors hospital can offer you premier service because when you go in there, you can pay. Now, if you're paying a fraction of the cost, at least that'll go towards, deal with the expenses that PMH got to deal with. The government has to fork up hundreds of millions of dollars every year just to keep that system going there, right there. But the issue is that, for us as a people, though, the challenge is most of the people who are going there don't have the money. That's the challenge. Whether they're Haitian or Bahamian, they don't have the money. A lot of people don't have money. They just need to be served. And so the challenge is what we talked about on the television the other day. Poverty. The level of poverty in the Bahamas is so great that people don't have access to resources to be able to pay for their own healthcare system. And this is where primarily the NHI system kicks in. The NHI was created really to be almost like a gatekeeper. You go and you get your checks every year to make sure that you don't end up in the hospital where there's hypertension, diabetes, and so on. Get your regular checkup free of charge for you. Of course, the government is paying on the back end. So, but most people don't even use that system. So by the time as you get sick, you did not take advantage of the NHI system. So now you end up in PMH, putting more load on the system. And so right now, all private facilities, as far as I know, are offering NHI. Citizens are registered and they could go and get checkup. They can call anytime they want to go check. If you ain't feeling well, the NHI will pay for you. You don't need to go to PMH anymore. You go to private doctor and get served. But most people don't access that service first as citizens. And the government is spending, once again, millions and millions of dollars every year to be able to take care of its citizens. And I sound like a government MP.
All the
I
more
gotta stop.
reason why you only making my argument for me,
Mhm.
because they having a hard time taking care of their citizens. We cannot. Let me tell you why we're being overrun. We're being overrun because these illegal immigrants know how soft we are.
Well,
And I'm not saying that we should take the stance of, say, a Dominican Republic, where they just killing people,
no,
allegedly.
no,
I ain't saying
we
that
can't do that.
because we're talking about human beings. But they know we joking.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember the last election. During election times, you've seen it. There was big rally in the Haitian community.
Yeah,
Everybody had on the yellow and the gold shirt,
yeah.
and they all speaking Creole. And I'm talking about,
I was one of you. I'm one of you.
and so we win. So when the message got back to Haiti, we win. What happened is that everybody figured they could come.
Influx.
So, when we start to, I guess, flirt with that community for votes, you got to deal with the repercussions on the back end. You know, mind you, there are a lot of Haitian Bahamians who can vote. There are a lot of Haitian Bahamians who are adding value to this country, and there are a lot of people who perhaps are not citizens and need to be citizens. However, there are people who are here illegally. You cannot flirt with people who break the law to come into your country. Simple.
The telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line to send us a text message 8010271, 8010271. Latanya says on Facebook, why, if our law speaks to entering our country illegally, it's a criminal offense, why not prosecute these illegal breakers? Allegedly, we have halt repatriation to Haiti and refuse to prosecute the lawbreakers. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hello?
Are you on the air?
Yeah, good day, Lady Malcolm and your guest.
How are you?
Good day, sir.
I am wonderful. Kind of little take off at the guest a little bit, but we can straighten that out right now. Because it's about high time, and you was on the right track, Lady Malcolm. It's high time Bahamians stand up for Bahamians and speak truth to power. You understand? Who pays the police officers?
The taxpayers.
The taxpayers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And customs and immigration and the rest of them and all of the rest of them. That hospital is funded by the taxpayers, just like what you say.
Mm-hmm.
Every little potato chip I buy or cheese doodle I buy at the shop, the tax money go to pay for that hospital.
Mm-hmm.
But what they've been getting with because of bad and horrible management and allowing, like you say, every Tom, Dick, and Harry to come there from all over the place. I was there with this one fellow was there with broke arm. He had no papers, but they had to serve him. They had to put gas on him and serve him. Whereas the Bahamians like me gotta put up $2. What they are doing, Lady Malcolm and your guest, is they're getting away with murder, and it's called double taxation. That is what they do at the Bahamian people there. There's no way we're supposed to be paying twice for a hospital service that is supposed to be basically free. Don't let him get away with that. Don't let none of them get away with that on your show.
Only me
Now I
here.
can finish
Only
listening
me
to the
here.
show sound like she could be a little interested.
Hey, Michelle, only me here. but
Thank
but
you,
see,
caller.
I didn't sign the agreement. Like I said, there's a convention, the United Nations Human Rights Refugee, whatever called, that we cannot deny them access to educate. I didn't sign it. I wasn't there when it was
Ain't
signed.
nobody saying
I
denied or
hold on. I am
Cassius.
just repeating what it said.
Right.
Okay. I'm
Right.
telling you what the problem is.
Right.
I never sat in cabinet to write no paper for
Yeah,
nothing.
we blaming
So
you.
don't get tick off at me.
No.
Tick off at the people who you all vote for, who create the problem. Okay, that's what you get tick off at. I'm just telling you what the problem is. We cannot deny them access to healthcare and education. We cannot, because we signed that convention. So when they walk into the hospital, they know. I mean, some of them may not know that.
I'm
The
sure
doctors
they
them
know.
can't say no. That's
I-
because that's what we signed.
I ain't saying
I didn't sign it. That's what
I
the
ain't
country
saying to
signed.
say no. I ain't saying to turn nobody away.
And so I understand
all
what
I
he's saying.
saying is make
You
them
know,
pay
when the
for the
when the
service.
Bahamians come, listen, I want the red and the purple carpet, sir. That's what I want for Bahamians. However, we don't get that because they throw all us in the same basket and everybody else bungle up together.
And that's the problem. That's the problem right there. You hit the
Mhm.
nail right on the head. Everybody get thrown in the same basket.
Everybody in the same basket.
Citizen, non-citizen,
Mhm.
illegal immigrant, legal immigrant, all are in the same basket.
Precisely.
Something wrong with that picture.
And so, but you see, we have to demand more. And he made a statement too. We have horrible management in the healthcare system. For some strange reason, we seem to think that doctors make the best administrators. So all these ministers of health were doctors, right? Look how bad the hospital is. Obviously, they aren't doing a good job. So don't put another doctor there as the minister of health. Don't do that, because it's not what when you look at for the last 5, 6, I guess 6 terms, not years, they've been all doctors. Look at the state of the hospital. Really? Have they doing a good job? Can we walk away and say, wow, our healthcare system is being run optimally? No, because we always had ministers of health who were doctors, and they don't make the best administrators. They may be good doctors, mind you. They may be good gynecologists. They may be good obstetricians. They may be good all of them things. But when it comes to being administrator, they are horrible. Obviously, they're horrible. So what to do is put them where they're supposed to be put. Stay in the hospital, fix the sick, heal the sick, stay with the politics.
Oh dear. It's not a call over the show. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yes, good evening.
Hi.
I would like to see them stress more concerning national insurance. Let's start a fundraiser like every when national insurance was first started. Let's start a fundraiser where we have a big, like how Robbie those churches have those big fairs. Let everybody come together and let's contribute and go and have a fundraiser for national insurance, and like let us have a big raffle and someone wins something and everybody contribute. If you won $10 or it's $11 international insurance, to make it build up more for the former children what is coming along, instead of just looking forward and wondering how we're going to keep turning national insurance over and over. Let's have a fundraiser.
But what that have to do with what we talking about today in terms of the
No,
cost?
no,
that's
not saying
been-
nothing. I'm talking about what today. I heard y'all mention NIB.
Yeah,
okay?
but I don't want us to lose focus of what we discussed.
Okay, all right. No, ma'am. I didn't know.
Today is not an open line show. Open line is for Fridays.
Oh, well, and I'm talking about the refugee situation also.
Right.
So that's come under that. That's what I'm talking about too. It's not right to have the people in the country and they're here, and some of them it's burning on the government, and that's really hard for the government to put money into the pocket of people who are not citizens here. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for calling. Hey, I really appreciate it. So Candy says, make them pay for it. It's available. Now pay for it. Hasheen says, they force the Bahamians to wear the mask. So why don't they force us to eat only healthy food, whereby they can fix our health problem and kill this so-called?
Girl,
Okay. That's another show. That's another show.
Again, though.
That's another show.
Hey, force you.
Yeah. Y'all know my position on that.
No, but she makes a very valid
Makes
point.
yeah, makes sense. Makes
Very
sense.
valid point.
I just think that when it comes to the topic we're discussing today, obviously there's chaos in Haiti. Obviously, you look at the news stories that are coming out of there. I mean, it ain't never really stable per se,
Yeah,
but even at their standards, this is crazy.
yeah,
What we see happening there.
yeah,
And if you were there and if I were there, I was going to get out of there too.
yeah.
Okay?
You know, Haiti has been suffering for a long time under the yoke of the European powers and coupled with the American powers. You remember Haiti was invaded in the 1917 in the 1801
Mhm.
by the United States. Of course, France had them pay reparation for breaking away from slavery upward and probably several years ago. And so you're looking at the poorest nation in the world.
By design.
You making payments to France every year
By
for
design.
almost 100 years.
By design.
I mean, and they ain't got no conscience.
That's the poorest nation in the world.
And
By design.
And you making them pay. You making them pay. You put embargo on them. You created this mess. They exploit Haiti. The European powers exploited Haiti. And so, you know, but one thing I admire with Haiti, though, once Haiti broke away from France, Haiti made a declaration to all of the Caribbean. Any Caribbean country under the bondage of the European powers are free to come to Haiti and be free. That was their declaration. So for us, though, now that they are still in bondage, we got to find a way to offer the same olive branch to them. How do we help to restore the leadership in Haiti? You know, we need as a CARICOM community, lend support to restore and rebuilding Haiti leadership. And that's the key. Always remember, the speed of the leader determines the rate of the pack. If there is no leader, everybody's in chaos.
Yeah.
And so Haiti's in chaos. And so all of us Caribbean leaders, CARICOM leaders, we cannot walk with our head in the sand as if nothing is happening in Haiti.
I agree.
They offered us an olive branch in the 1800s. Let's offer them an olive branch. How do we rebuild your leadership, your cabinet? We're going to help you do that. Else, we will always have this problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we like to talk about problems. We like to mention problems. And we have a society that just basks in problems. We love it. They even get talk show where you go watch a court case, talk about people's problem. We love that. But nobody wants to find a solution.
And that's
because solution is not nice.
Yeah.
It's not nice.
Yeah.
And so Prime Minister, Barbados, Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Prime Minister St. Lucia, you all get together. The same way you all could come to the Bahamas, the whole summit for climate change, which you can't do nothing about. Go come together for a summit to restore Haiti.
But
Please.
But Cassius, they say they're going to negotiate with the gang people in Haiti who causing all the chaos.
Listen, there's one thing you do with gang people.
What's that?
All right. There's one thing you do with gang. Find out what El Salvador's do with the gang people.
All right. We can take this quick break. Boy. But I do want to talk about solutions today because it really seems that we have a caller. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hello.
Hey, you on the air?
Oh yeah. Two questions before real quick. Is Mr. Stewart saying that there's nothing we can do about this? This people call it the invasion. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
nothing we can do about it because we signed on to some.
No, sir. Don't get me wrong, man. Come on, man. Listen to what
I
never said that.
Answer the question then.
No, sir. I never said that.
What can we? You said we signed on to some things. There's nothing we can do.
I said the Bahamas government signed on to United Nations Convention.
You didn't do it.
Right?
I heard the conversation.
The convention.
Now, what can we do?
Well, can you unwrite the convention? I don't know. I don't have that answer to you, sir. I don't know if you can unwrite it.
So
I don't know.
Move on, but because you're going to a break, you could discuss this later. But I just want to get these things in there first. Well, that's why the guy called earlier. He was a little like me, a little T, because I was hear what we can't do. But here we are. The next opening of the House of Assembly, we'll be faced with something I thought the government couldn't do. Rewriting the Constitution right in the front of our faces. And I think a lot of Bahamians feel the same way. Every time it comes to illegalities that affects your oligarchs and your rich people and certain people, it's always can't do it. But when it comes to Bahamians, oh my God, to the letter on everything, like the man mentioned Cheese Tool just now, we got to pay through our nose. But the people come over here, like you said, jump through your window. And when we drop them off in Haiti, if we ever could do that again, I don't know if that's even possible, we put $200 in their pockets.
That's what we do?
Saying stay home.
We do that?
I know. I know it's
I don't know
traditional. They don't do it no more.
I don't know.
I know they used to put
get them
money.
$200?
Yeah, man.
No, sir.
We paying you to go home.
Paying you to come back.
I don't know that. I don't know if we pay you to go home.
Yeah, Cassius, that's been the practice. Unless
Listen.
Ginger.
Well, I need to go home too then.
Well,
Oh,
please,
I need to get on that line.
Somebody need to give me some. Somebody need to give me something to go home.
I just want to hear about something we can't do, man. This thing is very,
Well,
very scary, man.
Oh,
These
well,
people, these people have a baby a week.
well, I'm not sure what the repercussions are to I guess to go against conventions we signed. I'm not sure. I mean, basically, it's probably just a formal treaty for all nations. So I'm
Well,
not sure.
Trinidad did it.
I'm not sure there's any belt for us if we don't do it. However,
Trinidad had a situation with the Venezuela the other day. They said, no, we can't help them. We're just too, and they got 1 million people.
Mhm.
We don't even have 500,000,
listen, it's more of them here than we are. You know that, right?
unfortunately.
All right. So,
Yeah.
Manu, I with you in
Man.
100%
We need
understanding that we got to
people like
fix this.
yourself, man.
We
You
got to
know,
fix this
you
illegal immigration
politically
problem.
astute people like you, LinkedIn, all those guys, man. Come on, get together and let's fight for the Bahamas. I don't think if we ever needed that, it was right now because the man, like you said earlier, he went up there and he said he's a Haitian. He said, he identified with them and he's willing to do. And Terry Christie said, and Ingram said the exact thing. Ingram was so horrible. He brought the prime minister, or the president at the time, to come here to tell him to vote for Ingram. I mean, come on, this madness right in the front of our faces. And we as Bahamians, now the one thing I tell you this, we might be like some people call us soft and all that kind of stuff, but we are very smart people. And we got to put our heads together and deal with this, man. God give us intelligence, man. Let's use that.
No, we keep doing the same thing over and over, and it ain't gonna change. And so we have a inflow of illegals coming into our country, overrunning our country, and they're reassimilating our country basically. And the Bahamas is going to be reassimilated because now the entire construction industry is dependent on them, and so we are really at their mercy.
But think about it, Mr. Stark. We don't do things over and over like everybody say, like PLT, red, yellow, black and white. I mean, back and forth. But if you notice, I know you're very good in politics. If you notice that the first prime minister was 25 years, now that's repeating something. Then the second one was just 2 terms. Then the next one we start going, we bouncing. So we are learning. And right now, this may be the time to make that huge change everybody wants in their heart. To rid themselves of this yellow and red back and forth. Like you said, stagnation that's going on. But man, I'm depending on you, man. You're a great man. You ain't dead yet.
I would be the first to say hallelujah, and then me and you'll jump up and down in the street if that's the case. But we got to keep pushing, we got to keep fighting, and the people need to know that they have other alternatives, and they got to really believe in those alternatives. And so we gotta show them that we have the capacity to lead as well too, and to be able to manage the affairs of the country.
So I want to see more of you and hear more of you, man. Just like Lincoln, man, he never stopped. I want to see you guys do the same thing, man. Don't wait till almost time for elections. By that time, it's too late. People are going through so much problems. But right now, that's why I told Miss Malcolm the other day, I didn't agree with no 70%. I don't know. Well, that's another story for another show. But we are hurting out here, and people know it.
Yeah. No, listen, after 50 years as a nation, after 50 years as an independent nation, majority of the Bahamians, 90% of everybody who owns a bank account have less than $300 in it.
Yes.
Let me say that again. 90% of everybody who holds a bank account, all the accounts in the Bahamas, 90% of them got less than $300 in it.
Savings,
okay? So are we a rich country? Are we a successful country? What kind of country we have when the majority of people are broke?
Yes, well,
And so, however, I want you to do an assessment now. The freedom fighters that broke the chains of bondage in 67, right? Look at them and see if they broke or they're rich. And then you tell me, okay? You tell me. So the freedom fighters are the ones who liberated us. They're the ones who kept all of the economic wealth among themselves. They kept it. They made sure the masses remained broke, and they kept the cycle going.
But Cassius, some people would argue that Bahamians, the majority, the masses of Bahamians are broke because they are just lazy people. Because let me finish. I ain't saying this your opinion or my opinion. I'm just saying what I've heard people say. Because you have these people who come in this country illegally, and you go in certain areas of right here in New Providence, and they got more shop and they got more businesses, what they done set up, and they come in our country and they making themselves a very comfortable living.
Yeah.
Whereas Bahamians sitting back and complaining that they ain't got no job, they can't find no job. But
There is an element of that.
well, we got to take a break.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
So
still bring-
thank you, caller. Let's take this break and then we can talk about that on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to take this quick break. We are on a Hot Topic Tuesday here on GPS, and we'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rim fix and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Glasses love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun. Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here along with Cassius Stuart on this Hot Topic Tuesday. We are talking about kidnappings, chaos, and confusion. Because there's obviously chaos going on in Haiti. We heard of the story of the employee of the Bahamian embassy being kidnapped, and the leaders seem to be confused. as to how to deal with this, or complicit, and why they're not dealing with it.
Mhm.
I got to add that.
Yeah.
Kidnapping, chaos,
Mhm.
confusion, or complicit.
They have a saying in management, say management by MBCCP, management of chaos, crisis, and panic. There are people who could only manage under those conditions. Management by chaos, crisis, and panic.
You think that's what's going on here?
Yes, of course, that's how we manage. You know, we don't take proactive measures to be able to fix problems. We wait till there is a problem to fix it. We wait till the chaos erupts before we decide we're going to fix something. And so we enter into a state of where it has to be a crisis. We're panicking now, so we got to move, you know? And so, you know, that is the style that we've adopted. You know, visionary leadership don't wait for a crisis. We take preemptive steps before the crisis exists to be able to deal and address with problems. When you're looking at building a society, you know that the hospital was built in the 1950s. Why wait for a pandemic to say, oh, well, you know, the hospital is inadequate? Do you know that the population size increased? From the 1950 that will be able to accommodate 75 to 100,000 people, we now have 450,000 people, coupled with 5 million tourists every year, and then another 150,000 illegals, right? So you know we got to expand our hospital system. Don't wait for a crisis. What we did was when we decided to do something, we built more offices and we built beds. So the new expansion program was basically more offices than anything else. One or two theaters with more offices. And so, but for us, so you have to anticipate in demand. You see it all the time. The US, when I was in university, I used to work for this company that used to count cars. They had us on these corners counting cars and we were writing down these numbers. What it was, anticipating the load for the demand to see if the streets need to be increased.
Mm-hmm.
And so based upon the load factor, then they decide, okay, we want to widen these roads. When you look at the expansion of a society as a country, you know we need to do a better job in healthcare. Now, we do have a lot of satellite campuses around through polyclinics and so on that are underutilized.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got to begin to train the Bahamian people to use more of the polyclinics when they have smaller minor issues or major issues and come to the main hospital. But the main hospital got to be able to sustain the load that we have, and we can't do that.
Mm. I want to read a couple of comments from Facebook. Wolverine says, unless you send in NATO peacekeepers and put Haiti under lockdown and curfew until order is restored. Candy says, Haiti got enough leaders in the Bahamas that can go to Haiti and and be leaders all the right group. Fred Smith, they can go and fight for Haiti in Haiti.
That was funny, man.
Y'all
Sorry, that was
easy.
funny.
Y'all
That's
easy.
funny. That's funny. And she's right, you know, mind you, they have a lot of Haiti has, when you look around at the world, particularly in the United States, Haiti has produced a lot of great people.
Mhm.
Haitians are very great people. And so those people need to lend the support the Haitian country needs. And so if you're producing great leaders all around the world, what's wrong with great leaders within your country? So she made a very, very valid point.
Amos says, some of our Bahamian citizens are too petty. Every time political leaders mess things up, we go back and pick on Haitian Creole speaking people. Do you think that's a fair assessment?
I think we use that as a default from time to time. We use it as if there, you know, if there's a major crime, oh, it's Haitians, Haitians. Most of the time, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it is Haitians, but sometimes we use it as a default that it's always the Haitians that are causing problems. What I find though is that, you know, a lot of the Haitians who are here, they try to operate under the radar and they do what they can to do what they need to do. Now there are some young Haitians who are in gangs who cause problems, but a lot of them operate under the radar. They do very well in school and they try to not, I guess, ruffle the feathers of anyone. But of course, you get a lot of young people who, you know, they bring their problems with them and they kick up fights. Those who, and some, the young people who are in those gangs are those ones who are born here who don't fit in society. And so those are the ones who causing problems and wreaking havoc. And so we have to find a way to deal with people who are born in a country that are, I guess, unplaced. You are citizens of no country, and so you find people can't apply for job, can't apply for property, can't open up a bank account. What is there to do? Next thing you know, I get into the gang, and so
Mm.
everybody wants to be a part of something. But if I can't be a part of this country, let me form my gang, and we can cause problems.
Mm. Ah, boy, the numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. And the WhatsApp line to send us a message is 80102 0271. 8010271. Um, you know, I'm going to say something that's a little controversial.
You've been causing problems all day.
Well, can't help myself. A certain neighbor of ours to the north,
North, northeast, northwest, east, northwest, west, east.
just a big one to the north, they could find money to send all the way to Ukraine
Mhm,
to help Ukraine
mhm,
in the war with Russia,
mhm,
right? Because obviously they see some value in Ukraine remaining a sovereign state. There's some value to them in that. Ukraine far, 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 far from them.
mhm,
But they could find money and resources to send all the way to Ukraine to help Ukraine fight.
mhm, mhm.
Why is not the same degree of effort being put, in your opinion, in helping to bring stability to Haiti by those same people in the north, which Haiti, right next door,
There are
for
two.
all intents and
There are
purposes?
two arguments there. There
Mhm.
is there is a conversation that, of course, because they are black people, that they overlooked
Mm.
one, and so normally when the Haitian migrants are caught, they are expedited. But when the Latin Americans are caught, they are given the, I guess, free access to whatever they give
But
us.
they say Trump stopped that, eh?
No, Biden got a no, no.
Biden put it back in place.
Biden got a serious program going on. You cross the border now. They're giving you cellular phone.
Okay.
They're giving you everything now, and a couple dollars too.
Okay.
And say call us in a year. We'll check up on you. But when the Haitians are caught doing the same thing,
Oh no,
they
you
put on
going
a
back?
plane and you're going back. See,
Yeah.
so it's whether or not they like black people. I don't know, but that's an argument that is being advanced. The other argument too is, I'm not sure too much why, Haiti has been always undermined by the European powers, because what they did to the French in the early hundred, they've been suffering from that from to this day. And France made sure put their knees on their neck and paying that reparation, paying that. Oh, you took away our country. We could have made X amount of dollars from slavery, and so therefore we want that back.
Mm-hmm.
And so whether or not all of them are in collusion with that very same theory is another story. But Haiti was also invaded by the U.S. at one point, and so there are U.S. factories that were in Haiti. There's also an argument about Bill Clinton, former President Bill Clinton, and the exploitation of Haitians. Now, I don't know if you saw that on internet. YouTube, billions of dollars were given to his foundation for Haiti that never reached Haiti. That's what I've been hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure whether it's true or not, but those arguments are being advanced, and so Haiti has so much problems though. But coupled with that, you cannot sit there and worry about what these other countries can do. You got to be able to do something for yourself, and this is the problem I have with our prime minister, and who is talking about this global warming issue. And you cannot build a future waiting for a rich white country to give you a couple dollars. You cannot hinge your bets on that, and so you bringing everybody together to see how much you could beg these white countries and these rich countries for because of global warming. They ain't giving you nothing, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
What you need to do is figure out how you could build your agricultural industry. You need to figure out how you could build industries in the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wait on some people say, oh, y'all cause global warming, and so we need some money. Don't build a country on that. That's slackness. Build a country on, let's go grow something. Let's build our agriculture sector. Let's build our industries. Let's create greater connectivity to the Caribbean for greater trade. Let's enhance our trade deficit. Let's make sure that we could be a country of trade. But if you build in a country and you're trying to bring all of the Caribbean together to see how much y'all could beg these white countries for, buddy, you can starve.
We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS. Caller, you still there? Going once? Going twice? Okay, gone.
If you'd like to make a call.
All right. Yeah, I won't make no call. Callers, y'all got to hold on a little bit if we're in the middle of a conversation, okay?
And so Michelle, it's scary though. I mean, for us though, for the next 50 years, so we have to be strategic in our success.
Mm-hmm.
Our success cannot be random. And so, they said at COP90, the prime minister at COP, one of the Copenhagen summits, they pledged X amount of dollars for I guess countries who are affected by global warming.
Mm-hmm.
But you it's like if they give you something, then thank you. but don't wait for it. Don't build a whole movement on it. You get the Caribbean together to say, listen, Mia, call to the rest of them from there. Listen, how do we strengthen our agriculture sector? How do we create greater trade between our islands? Let's put the infrastructure in place for the transportation of movements of goods. Jamaica could provide X amount of crops. You could provide X amount of crops. We have a marketplace, and we could be able to get those products out.
Mhm.
You don't wait on somebody to give you something. And so for me, I was upset. And then, the prime minister alluded to the fact that, this global warming and hurricanes has constituted the X amount of dollars to our national debt. I take exception to that because while they said $3 billion was estimated to rebuild Abaco, we never spent $3 billion. Abaco never saw $3 billion.
Mm.
A lot of the monies that are spent during hurricanes were donated. People donate and pledge and so on, so we use those monies. But to say that's a part of our national
They
debt,
never collect all the money what was pledged.
they never collected and they never spent it. But what I'm saying is, but you can't say that's 50% of our GDP because GDP is the money that was spent.
Mm.
You understand? That money was never spent. Abaco was still in shambles. If you spend $100 million of the public goods, you probably spent plenty.
I've heard that Abaco is starting to come back though.
It's coming back, but it ain't back. We still got a long way to go.
Yeah.
And so, but what I'm saying is, you don't use that argument. What has constituted to our national debt is wastage from the PLB and the F&M. Wastage over the last 40 years. That's why we have a heavy debt. Don't blame a hurricane, because when there's a major storm, there's a lot of pledges, one, but then most of the times, the estimate that has been given is never realized. $3 billion to rebuild Abaco. Oh, it looks good. It sounds good. Oh, that's $3 million to our debt. You will never spend that money to add that to the debt. So don't do that.
Oh boy. Okay. I want to read a couple of comments from Facebook. Perlene says, why can't some of the other Caribbean countries help Haiti? And Kentaro says, I can't feel bad for us as Bahamians. This is what happens when you lotion man for 49 plus years. Y'all ain't easy. Tall. Telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. The WhatsApp line is 8010271, 8010271. We are talking about kidnapping, chaos. What else I say?
What?
Confusion,
Crisis.
all
of that.
Complicit.
And
What's going on?
Why we can't wait on just the Caribbean to lend assistance is because most of the times we are more affected by the migration movement than the rest of the Caribbean.
Yeah, they're not feeling it as much as we are.
You see, and so we feel it heavy. Now, Barbados have a heavy crisis from Guyanese.
Mm.
Of course, Trinidad got a heavy migration movement from Venezuela.
Yeah.
And so when you go down the Caribbean, everybody got their little share of issues.
Mm-hmm.
We got our share of migration problems from Haiti. And so we can't wait on them. But I guess as a region, though, we got to put together a leadership team that can be able to help foster greater leadership within these countries, particularly Haiti. We got to lend support to help Haiti, to rebuild Haiti. I'm not talking about just money. I'm talking about technical support. How do we now get their cabinet back up and running? How do we get elections back and running? Do we offer assist their army with more peacekeeping and so on and so on? We got to get Haiti stabilized.
Yeah.
If it's not stabilized, it'll always be a problem for the Bahamas. And then once it's up and running, then how do we now create more economic activity within Haiti? Here's one of the reasons what we need to do. If the Bahamas government under the auspices of the BAIC can lease land in Haiti, and then you use Haitian labor to grow crops.
Mm-hmm.
That crops that are grown is under a Bahamian company.
Mm-hmm.
We export that to be able to supplement the shortfall, so we wouldn't have the high prices of we're seeing in the food store now for lettuce and tomatoes and so on and so on.
Mm.
Because we have a corporation within Haiti that is run by the Bahamas government. I mean, Bahamian Haitian workers are building it, but now we have crops on a yearly basis and so on. But any supplement products can now go to Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean, and we're making money. And so success got to be strategic. It is always random for us. We don't think about, while Haitians are coming here, they work hard. Well, how do we use their land, use their labor in their territory?
I agree with you, but a part of the problem is I come into the call right now. Part of the problem is you got some folks here who They ain't gonna like that idea because they benefiting from the slave labor here. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS. Man, call it, man.
see,
Come on, man.
but that's the ones who ain't come yet.
We got to take into consideration this is a revolving door.
That's the ones who ain't reached here yet.
Man.
But you got to be strategic, all right? The Caribbean has always been rich over the last 200 years in agriculture, right? There are certain countries that grow different crops at certain times. Like Jamaica has a year-round, apparently a 365-year-old mango because of the way they're situated on the lines of latitude,
Right.
all right? However, when you look at Haiti, Haiti has a lot of land. They get a lot of labor, cheap labor. Let's use Haiti's labor and land
In Haiti
to grow crops under the Bahamian management.
So they ain't gonna come here.
And so they're making money there. Then we have a company that being able to ship products from the Haiti to the Bahamas, Haiti to Jamaica, and the Bahamian government is making money from that. I mean, however we do it, we privatize it, however we want to create it. But you have to find these crisis spots to be able to turn it around to maximize. And that's what we have not done. We always looked at Haiti as a problem. You know what? You know what Haiti's been doing for the Democrats and the Republicans?
All I thought. I don't want to lose this caller for a third time.
Yeah.
Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hey, Michelle, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I know Cassius, man. Cassius used to bring his kid to one-on-one preschool.
Okay.
See, but he beating round the nail. He destroying the wood that the nail is holding up. He's beating round the nail. Everybody afraid to hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
Hit it for me. Hit it.
Anyway,
Yeah,
I gotta call you back.
don't go. No.
Hit
Hit the nail.
I gotta call you back. You gotta do a credit card.
What a time. What a time. All right. Well, make that thought real quick and then we go into a break.
I forget what I was
You
saying.
forget what you said?
No. What they're doing is that the U.S. has done is that they've been creating all of the T-shirt manufacturing for the Republicans and Democrats. Guess where they were printed? In Haiti.
Is that right?
Yep. And so what? And I guess Bill Clinton and them had a part of that as well too. They're using Haitian labor to manufacture cheap shirts and so on and so on. And so instead of looking at it as a problem, we have to find ways of maximizing so that it don't be a burden to you. And instead of a burden, it's now an asset. So there are two things. Either you're a liability or you're an asset. And so right now they're a liability. If we keep rowing and hemming and hawing and this and that, we can always be a liability. Let's figure out how we can make it an asset.
Yeah. But obviously that begins with stabilizing what's going on there now. Because you could have all the manufacturing plant and all the farm in the world, but if them gangs keep doing the foolishness what they doing.
You see, and that's where the leadership comes in. That's where the governments need to make sure that we insist, even if we gotta go to the French who just benefited a whole lot of money from Haiti to citizen, we gotta help fix this problem, all right? Ain't no money in it for y'all, but we gotta help fix this problem.
Yeah.
They don't do nothing for free.
Right. All right, let's take this break. On the other side, we will continue talking about this whole issue of what is going on in Haiti, the kidnappings, the chaos, the confusion. We got to get it together, because guess what? They say when America sneeze, we catch cold. Well, when Haiti go into labor, guess who feeling the pain? Yeah. We can be back after this. Stay with us.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rims, paint, and
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z-Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z-Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
We are back. Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here on this Hot Topic Tuesday. My guest is Cassius Stuart, but that don't mean I don't want to hear from you all, because usually on Hot Topic Tuesday I don't have a guest in yours. We call in plenty, so ain't nothing changed. We want to hear from you. 3260271, 3260271, 3260272. 3260272, WhatsApp line for text messages only, 8010271, 8010271. I have Cassius here today because this is a heavy topic, man. I need a little bit of help lifting this one.
This is a wasp nest you put me in right now. 'Cause every Bahamian is sensitive about the illegal immigration topic. Every Bahamian.
That's why it's a good hot topic.
And everybody got their views, and their view is the right view.
Of course. So we got a view right now, but with a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Lady Malcolm,
Yes, sir.
once again, Cassius is a brilliant man, right? But man, sometimes Cassius, he's swaying through the wrong corner. Cassius, do you know that after the earthquake in Haiti, Bill Clinton and all them fellas called in, different leaders from around the world, and donated, made a contribution to Haiti of $13 billion. They made a contribution to Haiti. Now, take the Bahamas. Haiti got 12 million people. Take the Bahamas. We scraping over 400, that's close to 400,000, and half of them, what they is, right? Our entire budget for the year is roughly $2 billion. $2 billion. Haiti just had $13 billion. Must be more than what all the Caribbean combined together. Cassius, what the hell we could do for them?
But
what could we do for them?
One second. Don't go nowhere. Let me ask you. I want you to do some research for me. Out of that money that was pledged, the Japanese government pledged about $3-4 billion. I was following that very closely. Find out how much money was actually realized, and then what are the Haitian people saying about Bill Clinton and the monies that was given to his foundation. Just do that research for me, and then call Michelle tomorrow.
Yeah, basically, know what research we're talking about. In addition to
what I'm saying is, even though $13 billion was pledged, they never saw $13 billion, one. And a lot of the monies that was given, they never got. And
yeah,
so
they are. What we could do for them? You been to Haiti before? You ever been to Haiti?
Here's what we can do. Let me tell you what we can do. All right?
Yeah.
We don't have no money to offer them because we need money ourselves, right? But we can lend expertise. We, along with the Caribbean nation, could say, listen, let's get together to see how best we could help stabilize the Haitian government by making sure we could go and help, I guess, stabilize their cabinet, their parliament, and so on, through CARICOM itself, right? As a country, what we can do, though, is you look at Haitian. What does Haiti has over us? They have cheap labor. What does Haiti have over us? They have land. So they get land and they get labor, right? Those are the tenements for capital. They get land, labor. Let us therefore then use or get some of their land to grow crops. What are we missing?
That's the
What,
that's
what,
the reason.
what are the problems is with the Caribbean now? Shortage on crops, shortage on supplies, right? We have a problem with shortage on everything. Why aren't we growing crops in Haiti on land using cheap labor?
But Cassius, I asked you a question a little while ago. You ever been to Haiti?
I've been on the island of Hispaniola, but not to Haiti.
You ain't been to Haiti. When I used to be in the armed forces, I've been to Haiti several times. We drive for hours, not a tree, not a this, not a that. You understand me? There is the Caribbean countries struggling for their own self. Ain't nothing we can do for it. You ain't see what the big boys doing. The big boys skin us little incentive here and there, and then tell Brave them, you go deal with the guy. They throw in the blame off that they ain't want nothing to do with Haiti on us. And we can't help Haiti. Yes, sir?
I know.
We cannot help them.
I know if I agree with you. I mean, I do know that, I understand what you're saying is because our hands are tied in many ways, right? We got a hell of a lot of problems on our own doorstep, right?
A lot.
But the problem that is constantly coming from Haiti to us ain't gonna ever stop. You understand? Now,
I agree.
So 150,000 of them already here, illegal, right? And then factor that by how much of them have already been assimilated and integrated within our society. Out of the 400,000 people get, what do you think that number is?
Listen, Cassius, let me tell you something. A million Asians can come if they want to, All we got to do is adopt the Dubai model, You could come, you could wait, you could do it, but you can't vote. And there's certain things you can't do. All we got to do, but our leaders are complicit in this area. And that's what's killing us.
Well, I agree
we
with you.
got poor leadership.
I agree. And I said that a million times already today.
Now, one more thing I want to tell you, Lady Malcolm, before I go. What you see happening in this Bahamas, Cassius and Lady Malcolm, is by design. You hear me? It is by design with the FNM and the PLP. And I take you back in history. When Lyndon Johnson was a young upstart, very likable fella, and people like Mugabe them saw that Finland was trying to take over this nation right under America wing. Mugabe called Finland to Africa, and he taught Finland something called a divide and conquer technique. Now, if you remember, Cassius, the Free National Movement under Secondal GLIs them was trying to get Hubert or Perry to come head that party to the sports center long time. Hubert and Perry tell them, no way, we PLP. But when Finland took sick, and he called Perry and Ingram to his bedside, let me tell you what he tell them. He say, Perry, you come back to the PLP. So many women come back this way. And he tell Hubert, you go that way. And between the two of y'all, no matter which way the Bahamian people go, y'all will always have them.
So how you know that's what the man said?
Because that's what my pa tell me, say. And I want to tell you my daddy is. I want to tell you my daddy is.
He was right there, the road Cassius.
How you know all that?
He was there. My old man was there too.
You get all the juicy news.
I see.
My old man was there. This is by design. You hear me? What you see happening in this Bahamas by design, but now the problem is we didn't ride this horse so long, it get out of hand. It outweigh out of hand.
I see. All right.
Okay, darling.
Thank you for calling.
All right, buddy.
I want to read a message on Facebook. This one says, we can build a $20,000 holding jail in Andros on a 10 miles farmland. Give all Haitians in the Bahamas 6 months to register, work, and leave on their own in 6 months. Any Haitians caught in the Bahamas after 6 months will go before the courts and pay a fine of $3,000 or 3 years in farm jail. See if they won't stop coming in the country illegally.
That's what you talk about off the air.
Another one says, stay right there in denial. You can do all you want to help Haiti. They want rights to the Bahamas and every other successful nation. Except we stand our ground, there will be no other solution. More stringent measures need to be put in place. Stop making it so easy for them to settle, and maybe they will fight for their own nation. The Haitians are on record speaking concerning the UN assistance to Haiti, which was of no effect. Stay there in denial. as to what's truly going on. And then that same person says Cassius is missing the issue. Allegedly, the Haitian billionaires access those funds. You can't do nothing with those billionaires that has Haiti in hostage. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon, Michelle, and good afternoon, Mr. Cassius Stuart.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon.
I'm trust that you all are doing okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, good. Just a comment on Haiti. I've never been there, but my son, when he was off to school in Florida,
Mm-hmm.
he shocked the life out of me. It was many years after he graduated. And I think it was when the former president was assassinated, and we had this discussion. And me who what he was, he said, because he was talking about, they are rich, very, very rich Haitians. There's a rich section over there.
Yeah.
And he met a student. He had a friend who was from Haiti, attended the school that he attended. And you know how these fellas go. They decided to go and pay a visit. The guy went home to visit his parents.
Mm.
And man, he said, if you could have seen that place, the spread up in the mountains, and swimming pool and a huge mansion, and it was the work servants, and he said it was amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that lays herein lies the problem, because you have a section on the other end, below the property level, right?
Mm-hmm.
Persons risking their lives to come to flee, and we are the ones who in the Caribbean region who get the brunt of it. And I think that's why it's such it's out of hand and out of control for so many years. But the thing, my point is, I want to focus on what be one of the things that we as a people must do is put heavy emphasis on education. We have to educate our children, our young people from preschool on everything, and we need to put in that Bahamian history in that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I made that point because Mr. Stuart, I don't know, was that your daughter on a show last week?
Yes, ma'am.
Beautiful, excellent, a future prime minister. Brilliant young lady.
I can tell you said that.
She was, all of the children, the students were exceptional. But her I don't know who she took a personality after, but so
You think she ain't got my personality?
her personality was, it was like she's made for the, she just has it. She has the it factor, and she's brilliant. And the thing is, and what I would like to see, because people always say, because we have our government schools do put out brilliant students as well, but not in the numbers that we need to see. Our education system is lacking.
Yes, yes.
I see the minister. She's trying. And she's making some steps as far as that. But I think there's so much more work that needs to be done.
Yes.
And I think we need to do with persons such like yourself, because you and your wife, you all have to have done something. You understand?
Yes.
To produce a young lady such as your daughter and Miss Malcolm.
Mm-hmm.
She was on the show and she presented some. She had a discussion, and the way you presented, Miss Malcolm, you gave the audience pause, a focus. You understand? It was something to chew on,
Mm-hmm.
and something to think about, and a way to look at. I think because you too touched on our educational system and some of the areas that needs to be enhanced.
Right.
And only until we do that, because you're going to be frustrated, you're going to become frustrated, you're going to become angry, and you're going to feel closed in. But the one thing I noticed with children from Haitian descent, a lot of them excel in our educational system. And I would like to know, maybe you all could, I'm going to hang up and listen, but do you have any idea, or what would you think contributes to that they can excel and take advantage of our educational system in our country, when a lot of our students, some of them, do not. I'll hang up and I'll listen.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
calling. I think a big part of that is parental involvement. They realize the advantage of having a good education that they're getting for free, even though they're here legally. So they make sure that children
Yep.
do well in school. They walk in their children to school. They are invested in their children's education because they understand the opportunity that presents what they are getting for free in this country. Our people just
Yeah.
out to
Yeah.
lunch.
Yeah. We figure education stops at 3 o'clock. That's our problem. It doesn't stop at 3 o'clock. When those kids come home, they got homework. And some of the kids don't even do homework because some of the parents don't know what the homework is all about. But you have to be there to constantly reinforce what they learned that day. And that's what we find we do in our home. Our kids do very, very well because it's that constant reinforcement.
Mhm.
And it doesn't stop at 3 o'clock. And so we find that now my daughter, she gets up at 3 in the morning to study. I said, what kind of children you always get up 3 in the morning? Oh, daddy, I got to go to bed at 2 because I got to study. I'm going to set my alarm for 5 or 3. And so they now develop this system that, listen, if I got work to do, I can have to take care of that. And so, but it's the constant reinforcement at home to make sure that they get things done. Read this book, read that book, and then my wife is always on them. I call her the warden, the principal, home principal, and so she's always on them. But that reinforcement, I can't say it much because most children, for them, education stops at 3. It just starts when they get home. We have to, for the reinforcement, that a lot of times when the teacher regurgitating information, they take it home, they don't really understand it. But if you sit down with them, if you don't know it, then find a tutor to help them. And this is why you can get more out of them. And also, too, what I find too, Michelle, is that there are a lot of Bahamian kids that are so brilliant that we don't know about them because we always hear about the bad ones.
Mm.
The bad ones are always glorified, always on the news, always on TV, always talking about who killed this. But if you sit down and you allow the ones who are doing well to come on your show to say what they're doing, it'll blow the Bahamian people mind away.
Mm.
These kids are phenomenal. And so that's why I said to Shanique, it was a really good job for you to highlight these kids because most of the nation, when they think about young people, all we think about is negative. It's negative, it's a negative stereotype around our young people. But there are some young people who are bright, shining stars, but they just need to be put on the stage and let the world know what they can do. And so when my kids go to the church, I tell the youth pastor, I need you to use them, work them, put them on the stage. Don't let them get away, put them to work. For my kids was an ELC in Korean scholars. That's primary school. I tell them, listen, I need you to put pressure on them. Don't let them get away. And so for all of the teachers who I had an opportunity to interact with, I told them, listen, I need you to put pressure on them. All right. And so that's how we got to constantly massage and push our children. Collectively, we got a lot of children out there who are not doing what they need to do. But we have to develop a system that George Bush, it was George Bush, no child left behind.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very powerful saying, but we cannot leave nobody behind. We got to find a way to re-engage them in the society so that they can get a high school diploma and get a proper job so that we can keep the system going.
Right.
But we have allowed it to just somehow metastasize to a point where nobody checking, ain't nobody interested. So all us who are in society, who are either doctors or lawyers or big time like Michelle and them, we sit down and we talk about the problem. But none of us want to say we want to be a part of the volunteer teaching program to help tutor some of these children. We all got to lend a hand. So if it's only 30 minutes to help somebody in Camp Road understand what is proper compound sentence, simple sentence, understand how to write a proper sentence, a proper essay, proper paragraph, that helps understanding quadratic equations, linear equations, so on. We who know it got to be able to help teach them and help.
Mm-hmm.
And so we know that the school system is overwhelming. They can't do it. And so I'm going to make an appeal again. I said it on TV. I'm going to make an appeal again. Glennis Anna Martin, my friend, please create a national volunteer program so that people who have degrees can lend their 1 hour time to help tutor some of these kids who need help. Next 5 years, I want to see our national average as an A or B, please.
But Cassius, back to the woman's point, these Asian people ain't got no tutors. But their children excellent.
But you ain't know that, though. Don't say that. Don't say that because listen, one thing you find with the Haitian community, they are very integrated. right? They get Haitian taxis, they get Uber going on in Haiti, they get their own bank. So if you want to borrow money, there are people who lend money. They get an underground system that is so complex it just blow your mind. And so there are people in the community who are advanced more, and so the older ones come down to help the younger ones. We don't do that. We used to be in a tight-knit society where we help one another, but we got to find a way to help the kids in East Street and Two Chop Corner and Camp Road, those kids who are failing. Listen, we come to help you. We give you 1 hour tooling and create a structure so that at the end of the day, we can measure the progress of these kids. We know where they start off, now we know where they are. And then we create an excitement around it so that these kids can feel excited about learning. Learning has to be fun. And once it's fun, people, they can sit down and remember these reggae songs or these rap songs which we can't even understand, right? They know it word for word, right?
Oh, there's definitely some power in music. I remember songs from when I was a teenager.
But you see, the capacity to learn is there. Your brain can retain this information.
Right.
Why can't it retain the information on a quadratic equation? Because you understand, but it's what they call selective retention. People remember what they want to remember if they're excited about it.
Okay. We are discussing, even though it's a broad topic, we're discussing this whole question of the chaos going on in Haiti and how we are being impacted by way of the fallout, this massive influx of immigrants. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yes, ma'am. I called earlier. I'll be very quick, but I'm listening to this show and something about, I get so sick and tired of hearing us being compared to Haitians. Kids over here, their kids over there. The only way you could compare our kids with Haitians, if Haitians were in Haiti, and you would see if they are making any sense of that country, which is now a failed state. If we had our resources, and all of them, invested in us alone, now, there are always going to be some bad apples, and you spoke about them. We got some brilliant kids around there. But please, if I was living in another country, I would be walking my kid to school too. Why? Because if my future in that country depends on my child having that anchor baby in that country, I would be walking that kid to school too. I'd be watching everything, make sure they get 8 grades. Why? We want to stay in the Bahamas. And that was all well and good. But what it's saying for right now, not that you just want to stay here, you want a Haitian prime minister eventually, which is possible now. Please don't disregard that, because by the numbers alone, if they get enough of them over here and they start their own political party in a democracy, it's only fair. Majority will rule. So please stop comparing us with them until they go back and do something with their country. Then you can say, okay, the Bahamas versus Haiti, and that's an even comparison. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. Your thoughts on that, Cassius?
No, he made a valid point. But I'm not sure he'll ever see people not do that. People always try to compare themselves and compare. And, it's when you're failing that you always try to say, okay, the next person and so on. But I understand what he's saying. Necessity is always the mother of invention. And when people are in a state where they have a need for, whether it's resources, they do more to make sure that they can better themselves. And they strive more, they push more. See, we are lax because this is home. If you go to Haiti, you'll probably, like he said, because you're in a strange environment, you somehow seem to work harder. And Bahamian students, we did that when we were in university. When we were in university, because we are not, this ain't our hometown, we got a short time to be here. We work harder than the Americans who figure out this home, I just got to do what I do. They looking to get a C, and they have this thing that they just want to see their way through school. For us, that wasn't acceptable for us. We need to get an A.
Well, I made the mistake my first semester of celebrating my freedom more than going to class. And my mother let me know in no uncertain terms.
All of us.
That foolishness ends here.
We all partied, McKenna.
And thereafter, I made the dean's list every single semester I was there. Now, I remember visiting a friend of mine for the one of those breaks. Instead of coming all the way back home, I stayed in Jersey and spent time with her and her family that particular break. And I felt so bad for her because I remember her father at the dinner table one day asking me, Michelle, what's your GPA? So I told him what the GPA was. And he looks at it and he says, this girl come all the way from the Bahamas. I'm getting them kind of grades. What's your excuse?
And you can say the same thing with the origination.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
But I understood after that, first semester when I was doing foolishness. This don't waste this opportunity. I ain't sent you there to go learn how to shoot pool because that's all I did my first semester.
So you can shoot pool?
Pool chalk.
Oh, let's go.
Back in the day, I ain't know if I could say. My first semester, I was just chilling.
You like me in the pool room every day?
I was celebrating my freedom.
Listen, I know.
Until I pledged my sorority, and my grades plummeted so bad that semester. And then I went home. My mother's like, okay, this foolishness ends here. This ends here. And she made me realize what an opportunity I had to go off to school to begin with. And then when I couldn't even be active in the sorority, what I pledged for because my grades were so low, I was like, okay, now it's time to buckle up. Every semester thereafter, Dean's list. Because I understood, I was really young when I went to school. I was only 17 when I went off to school. But I understood the responsibility, the sacrifice. And I didn't want to disappoint my parents. And so I buckled up. I started to take my education seriously, and my grades reflected that. Americans, and I guess it's the same thing here.
Tell the nation what the GPA was. They want to know.
Grade point average.
They want to know.
They know what that is, man.
They want to know.
Oh, you mean what my grade point average was?
Yeah.
In the good years or the bad years?
The good years, man. They want to know what the bad years.
Good years, every semester I would make no less than a 3.5.
Good.
Okay? Some as high as a 3.8. Every now and again, you get one stupid teacher who won't give you a B instead of the A you deserve. Right? But my problem was my first year, my grades were so low doing foolishness that had I done that from my first year, I would have graduated, cum laude or something.
Yeah.
But because my first year was so dismal, it was a catch-up game. But every single semester thereafter, Dean's List.
Yeah.
So you're right. It's the same concept. They understand the value of the education that they're getting for free in this country, whereas our people taking it for granted.
You can imagine you can go to school and you're sure the school ain't get blow up tomorrow, or gang man coming to shoot up the school. So they live with that constant threat. So when they're here, they can take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And so that's what they do.
All right, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're talking solutions now, all solutions, because we only got 30 minutes left in the show. And I want this to be just more than complaining about the problem, because we could do that all day. Let's talk about solutions on the other side of the break. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paint, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, True Form, Western, Lux, Fuel, Track Life, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All Terrain, and low profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Last is love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun. Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM on this Hot Topic Tuesday. Michelle Malcolm here along with my guest, Cassius Stuart. We're talking about the chaos, the kidnappings, the madness that's going on in Haiti, more so than usual, and how that is impacting us here in the Bahamas. They say that this will be a record year for illegal immigration captures or stoppages, whatever you want to call it. They believe that by the end of the year, the number will be in the thousands. Now, that's who they have intercepted. That ain't who slipped through. And they ain't coming 5 at a time. These boats don't have no less than 80 to 100 people on them. No less.
Yeah.
Okay? So, if we keep going like this, I dare say that we will soon not be able to recognize our country. Because I say it all the time, they're not just coming in terms of bodies. It's not just bodies coming here. They're bringing their culture with them. And their culture is not the Bahamian culture. And as a result, we are seeing an influx of a culture that is foreign to ours. That is, I try to be very diplomatic how I say this. You know, the Bible talk about little leaven, leaven the whole lump. We have to be very, very careful to try to preserve our culture. But it is fast eroding because of all of these outside influences. Meanwhile, we have a serious challenge with the birth rate of many of the immigrants and migrants who are here, those who came legally and illegally. The birth rate is extremely high compared to that of Bahamians.
We ain't making no children, Michelle.
Yeah,
We
and
ain't got no birth rate. Stop.
I personally believe that that is strategic. You know, we every time you bring up this topic, you're accused of being xenophobic. Like people don't even want to have this discussion. But we got to face reality, people. We have to face reality. Or be prepared to live in the Bahamas that you don't know. That is No longer the Bahamas that we know and love. We are fast approaching that day. So I want to talk possible solutions now because we all know what the problems are. We can talk about the problems from now till Jesus comes. But it seems that our leaders are at a loss for what the real solutions are. Now we're hearing talk that the immigration and asylum bill, work on those continues. I do have some concerns over that because I don't know that we are prepared, Cassius, to talk about any asylum for anybody. We can soon be looking for asylum ourselves
Hmm.
if we continue down this road.
You know, and we used to be number one in boat building. We need to figure out how to build a boat to go north. We don't build boat no more.
I mean, what is going on?
You know.
And it was leaked. That the draft of the asylum bill was leaked, and I am quite frankly very concerned about some of the things in that.
Yeah, we can't follow. I think we somehow like to follow the United States in what they're doing. Um, while a lot of America have a lot of good examples, there are a hell of a lot of things that we don't want to follow, and so but we have to be independently minded to say, listen, while we have a lot as friends, as friends, there are a lot of our differences and some things we won't do, and so we are not in the position to be granting asylum to everybody. I mean, while there may be some circumstances where we have to grant asylum, however, right now our country is, it's really hurting. We're hurting on all fronts. If we dissect the country by ministry, let's go agriculture, we ain't producing nothing. Education, we feel it. Minister of National Security, high crime, high rape, high everything. And so you go down the line, social services in the deplorable. So you go down by ministry and see that, listen, we ain't in a position to do much to nothing. We got to fix ourselves.
Yeah, we got our own challenges.
We got to fix ourselves.
We have a call on the line. Caller,
And
welcome.
unless we do that, we be in problems.
Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hello?
How are you on the air?
Yeah, Michelle,
Uh-huh.
do you know we need to adopt the Singapore model?
Uh-huh.
You know, the Singapore model, if say now you get a job in Singapore,
Uh-huh.
and if they found the woman them pregnant, they ship them out right away.
Okay.
What our politicians are doing, because I know in our constitution, the government has to look for the best interest of the Bahamian people, not no foreigners or who come in the country get blah blah blah. So basically, the Bahamian people, no one else. And look, they ain't trying to look out for the Bahamian people, and which I call them traitors.
Okay.
I never know if there's any part in the constitution can the defense force or police can remove the government from office.
No. You're talking something now, but we ain't trying to go next thing. We just like Haiti.
But they ain't looking for best interest for
Yeah,
Bahamian.
but that's
They
a
call
part of
that-
Haiti problem right there.
They
Them
call that sedition, sir.
political coup and thing. No, we ain't trying to hear that.
No, Michelle, that happened in some other countries.
Yeah, but I mean, we got to do it though. That is not a good idea. I'm sorry, but no, ain't nobody in here gonna read you on that. Sorry.
That's sedition.
All right.
That's
we
happen. Like these political parties who in power,
yeah.
I be with you.
Listen, democracy is not perfect.
They
but
are
it's the
traitors to
best
Bahamian
thing.
people.
Democracy is not perfect, but it's the best thing we got. Okay, I got another call. I'm not going to encourage you in that. We have
All
another
right.
caller. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Madam Michelle,
Yes, sir.
it's been a while.
Uh-huh.
And Mr. Stuart, how are you?
God is good. How are you?
I'm great. Madam Michelle, I want to call to myself and you. We good friends. You're my sister. But I have to applaud you this afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
When King Herod wanted to kill out all the male boys, the mothers came to the rescue and saved them.
Mm.
I want to agree with you with the comments you made just now in terms of the social disorder is in Haiti and it has an effect on us in terms of our culture.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it. They come here illegal, set up shop illegal, do everything illegal, and surviving off it. We here, as concerned citizens, it seems that we have to struggle to get anything done. You pass Robertson Road, everything is illegal, everything is shantytown, everything is Haiti. I've been on Robertson Road for 30 years, and I had to went through all the procedures I see in the future a serious social disorder. Maybe in the 20 years, I have three grand boys, and I am prepared them with all the academic that they may have accomplished. I am preparing them to serve this country because guess what? It's coming. I have to agree with you. The birth rate. You remember I said that a couple years ago, and you condemned me. You're my sister. I love you, and I will always love you as a sister.
Mm.
But now you've seen it. There are some of our sisters from the South having two babies in 1 year. It's a conspiracy, and the children are being used as a shield. But Mr. Stewart and those are not saying nothing about this. Now they want to legalize same sex, not saying nothing about it. Now they want to legalize, interfere with the institution of marriage. But let's talk about, okay, if you want to legalize marital rape and sex, okay, let's talk. But and God knows that I should be responsible, and it shouldn't be coming from me. But then let's legalize adultery. Then let man be free to to commit adultery. I mean, I shouldn't be saying that, but madam, you there?
Yeah, I hear.
You're my sister now. Don't get upset.
Because I didn't
You
know
want to talk about marital rape? But let's talk about adultery now.
I didn't know adultery was illegal, because if that was illegal, they wouldn't have enough space in the jail. But anyhow, you taking us off topic now.
No, I'm not going to take you.
We only got 16 minutes left.
All I'm saying to you is I know you long enough and well enough to know that you know the Bible. And this liberal force that is about to attack the world, the principle of God will never change. I just try to be a little facetious.
Right.
But I support you in the comments of this coming from the South. We can see the culture is changing.
Mm-hmm.
And I see more in another few years. I hope I don't be wrong. But Mr. Stewart, I don't know if they can be wrong to deal with it. But this is out of hand now. Because they're doing everything illegal. Shut up shop illegal, squat illegal, do everything illegal and benefit from it illegal. Can't be right.
All right. Thank you for calling. We have another call on the line? No. Okay. Telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. I've been getting y'all a WhatsApp line, but I ain't been checking the WhatsApp line to see if anybody sent us any message. Okay, Cassius, we only got 15 minutes left.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's talk solutions.
All right. What are we going to talk about?
How we can fix this problem? I know it's a lot more. It's a multifaceted problem that will require a multifaceted approach to solve it.
I remember in 2001, I went to Abaco because there was a brewing riot being between the mud and the residents.
Mm-hmm.
And so I flew down to Abaco. Me and Omar Smith and Stone McCune was there. And so I remember sitting down. So the residents that time, they wanted to get rid of the Haitians there. So I said, okay, let's have a meeting in the town hall. So we had a meeting in the church. So all of the residents, the white residents from Abaco came. And then the residents of the mud.
Mm-hmm.
And so the white lady said, I need y'all to get out of my country because I can't deal with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So the young man said, Miss, I born here. Right? Say, Miss, I born here. Where you want me go? So then I kind of find out that the fellow who owned the mud was her cousin.
Wow.
Right? And he was leasing to them.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, taking advantage from
so the white man had owned the mud,
Mm-hmm.
leasing to all of the people in the mud.
Right.
They want. So you got to decide what you want. You want them to go, or you want their rent money.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So how do you fix the problem when we are part of the problem? We encouraging the problem.
Yeah.
And so there's no one quick solution. The thing about this situation, like I said, is everybody has their own solution. Their solution, they think, is right. Yours is wrong, but theirs is right. And so the problem is we can't never see eye to eye on how to fix it. That's why we can't move forward. The problem is government need to be firm when it comes to doing what they need to do. We have to protect our borders. One, we got to enforce the law. So whether you are in the country, if you come in the country illegal, everything you do in the country is illegal. And so then we need our law enforcement agencies to kick in to make sure apprehend persons who are here undocumented,
Mhm.
and get them back to where they're supposed to be.
Mhm.
But you see, the problem is we allow things to fester, just like a sickness. You don't go to get a check and it festers and it metastasizes and it spreads through the system.
Mhm.
This thing is already spread through the entire system. Then how do you get rid of it now? You need amputation.
Mm.
And sometimes the cancer's been spread so far,
If you amputate, you kill yourself.
you can't do nothing. And so we have allowed some of them to come in. Okay, we can give you residence because we need this little vote. We need this constituency. We need to make sure, empower them to get, so we give them voters card.
Another thing we have to consider, and call, I come to you right now, a big part of this problem is corruption. We got to address the elephant in the room. Let's go to the caller first. So, caller, welcome to GPS.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. This is an excellent show.
Thank you.
And I think the problem that has been happening now for the last probably 60 years in this country, we're seeing migrants come into this country. And at one time, it was just to go to the United States. They just used to try to come and go to the United States. That was mainly their thing.
Mm-hmm.
But we've seen lately now that they're staying here and they're stopping over, which is causing much financial burden on the Bahamian people. And if you're looking for solutions, I really do think we have to start by first dealing with systemic corruption in our passport office. Okay, because that is where a lot of this is happening, and this is actually looking bad upon us. Because now I've been hearing that the U.S. Embassy, when they see certain names come across, they're not giving visas anymore.
Right. So I've heard.
So we need to find out who is selling our passports inside the passport office. I need to put them in jail. You need to find out who's giving off false NIB cards and put them in jail. See, people say the Dominican Republic was very, very strict on Haitians, and you wonder why they did what they did. They went back to 1929 and they expunged all records of anybody who came from Haiti out of their country. And they did that because there was such corruption going on. If they didn't stop it, it would have been an overrun. And people call it the Dominicans racist. I said, well, go read your history books about the Dominican Republic and Haiti, and you will find out why they did that to them. Up until a certain time in Hispaniola, the Haitians ruled the entire island. And they used to terrorize the people in the Dominican Republic. Okay? They ruled the place. And what is happening now is they're saying, look here, man, we have 4 million Haitians right now living in the Dominican Republic. Okay? They can just walk across the line and walk into the country. If we don't find a way to make sure that if this country is for our people, we won't have a country left. So let's turn the tides to the Bahamas, 400,000. The charge it says that the embassy says there's 150,000 Haitians in the Bahamas. It's much more than that. Okay? You can go anywhere in Nassau and all you hear is Creole. That never used to be like that before. There'd be in little certain areas here and there, there are pockets. Right now, the whole Nassau, New Providence is a pocket of just influx of Haitians. And it's because of corruption. Okay? Now, how we go about dealing with the situation? We will have to get radical with it. It may not look good on paper at the time, but at this time, right now, what I do believe is that we need to cancel all the passports and citizenship of all Haitians until we can find out if they got it the right way. Okay? Like Cassius was just saying, if you came in illegal, then everything you do afterwards is illegal. So we have to go back and expunge all those records of everybody that came in illegally. The right to vote should be denied to anyone of the Haitian extract. Because you say, well, why you want to do something like that? Well, it's easy. They can send 1 million people over here and influence our voting system, and we no longer have a Bahamas. It's just that simple. We have to be real about it. This is nothing to say that we hate them. They are our family members. We know that we all came from certain tribes together in Africa. We know that. But that happens everywhere in every country. There are rules to a country. Okay? Haiti is a very prosperous country. They have over 800,000 Haitians right now that do not shop in Miami. They shop in Paris. They're extremely rich.
Oh, yeah, they got some very wealthy people there.
Know that. I worked along with a guy who was one time the ambassador for the Bahamas inside Haiti. So I know about this. These are the light-skinned mulatto Haitians. Okay? They do not associate with the darker-skinned ones. Those one on the poor side, they come to the Bahamas. And we've done an excellent job of taking care of them. Okay? But it's just too much. Our debt right now in this country is on an extremely high level. It's because of them. 60% of our government schools are Haitian kids. That's a lot of money being spent to take care of them. And we do our job, and people still criticize us. Even the Haitians will be able to criticize us and say we do them bad, we talk to them bad. I said, let me tell you something. Bahamians talk to everybody bad. If you're from Canada, they tell you a whole bill. If you're from Exuma, they call you something else. That's how we do it. But at the end of the day, we allow you to come over here, squat for free. Okay? Go to our school systems. You pay a little money to go inside and register and all that stuff, but it's basically free. Okay? No other place allows this. You can't go to the United States and get away with this. When I went to college, I had to get my I-20 form.
You
And if I
can't go.
overstayed,
You can't go in Haiti and get away with this.
this is
Listen,
what I'm saying.
we have a call.
Okay?
We have a cell phone caller though, caller. So I need you to wrap it up. Okay, so go
Well,
ahead.
anyway, just to wrap it up, here's what we can do. We can send all the Haitian women and children back home, keep the men on 6 months contract level, let them wait, bring another crew in, let them wait. This is how we get them to help Haiti while we make sure that they don't overrun our country. Set up like a contract system when our forefathers went up to the United States to pick fruits.
All right.
That's one system right there.
Thank you so much, caller. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon to you and your guest, Michelle.
Good afternoon.
Michelle, listen here. They think that we look down on the Haitians, so we talk bad about them. Michelle, the ones who born here are more arrogant than the ones who come here.
Mm-hmm.
One of my sons graduated in 2017, and you know what one of them told him? In 10 years, we are going to run this country. We are going to own it. I was on a public service bus one time, and a group of them was on the bus, young girls that born here, and they was talking in Creole. You know what one of them said? Somebody's going to bust you all in your mouth because you all always does that. So the ones who born here are more arrogant than the ones who come here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where our problem lies. It's not that we don't like them, because we don't know where we're going to end up in the world. But it's their attitude.
All right.
They have poor attitude.
Thank you so much for calling. I
You're
want to read a comment from our WhatsApp, and then the last 6 minutes we're going to talk about what Cassius thinks we need to do. As far as the solution is concerned. It says, how can we fix the problems of another country when we are yet to fix our own? When the government of the Bahamas starts to actually pay attention to the needs of its own people, then and only then can we reach out and help another. It should always be Bahamians first. The Bahamas is one of the only countries where its citizens feel second class. It's ridiculous. We see many of our problems which can be fixed, but choose to ignore them, leading to even bigger issues. Stop putting Band-Aid on flesh wounds and stop giving sugar honey iced tea to Bahamians and trying to pass it off as Kool-Aid. Like Pinland had said, we need to protect our borders. And like your guest said, if other countries see we are soft, what stops them from coming? Do you know after Dorian, many persons from the U.S. were posting online, why should the United States go in to assist the Bahamas when they could just seize the country by force when we were at our most vulnerable? The Bahamas needs to realize we have what many people seek and should protect it for the gem that it is. Stop playing footsie with the U.S. and do what CARICOM was created to do, unite Caribbean countries to assist one another in similar needs. That's a mouthful. I'll leave you with 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, I think we beat this horse enough. But I think, like the person on the WhatsApp said, that we have a hell of a lot of problems at our own doorstep.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't love your neighbor if you don't love yourself. And so we have to deal with the problems at home. We got to be able to put in place mechanisms for us to be able to control the level of crime in our society. We got to fix this hospital because our healthcare system cannot be known as a death chamber. We have to be able to make sure that the healthcare system is second to none in the region. We got to make sure that we are developing our agricultural sector. We got to make sure that we can grow food to feed ourselves and we're not dependent on the United States or anywhere else in the world. We got to make sure that our social systems are functioning optimally so that we can deal with the people who are less fortunate. We got to make sure that the educational system is working. We got to make sure transform the educational system so that we can finally move from this D to a C to a B to an A. We got to make sure that we manage our budget. Our debt is 11 billion. Our GDP is 10 billion. So our debt service ratio is more than 100%. That means we are at a bad spot. And so I definitely wanted to isolate all of the problems we're facing in national insurance right now. We had $2 billion before Hurricane Dorian. Now we probably get about $12 left. And so what I'm trying to say is that our country has a hell of a lot of problems. And with that being said, coupled with the immigration situation is also exasperating the problems we're facing. So I think we need to look at where we are now and fix some of the problems we have. We also simultaneously got to also work with our regional partners to be able to help fix the Haitian problem. We got to make sure that Haitians know that they cannot come to the Bahamas. That there is no free pass here. If you come here, you will be sent back. Those who are legally running around here, we got to do whatever we can to make sure we send them back. We got to make sure build a country where its citizens believe and know that they are number one, and our government takes care of them first. And so this is what it's all about. This is what being a Bahamian is all about. And so when your government looks after you, the trouble is we don't feel that way. And so moving forward, there's no one solution to this problem because it's a vexing problem. The cancer is already metastasized and spread through the entire body. We got to find a way to delicately deal with it, and so that we're moving forward. And so, with that being said, these are some of the thoughts that I was able to share with you. Well, before we close, Michelle, I would just like to offer my condolences to Sonia Roll, who lost her husband this morning, who happens to be the chaplain of my the BDM, and Tessa Ballard, who lost her mother yesterday. I just want to offer my condolences to my prayers are with you. So thank you so much, Michelle. I always enjoy being with you, and I'm looking forward to being on TV with you again.
Likewise. And thank you so much for accepting the invitation and my condolences as well. I want to leave us with a Amos, I can go out with you today. Amos says, start at the political levels and replace the treason acts brought against us by ourselves by way of our national political leaders. If we as a nation would like to help Haiti, give residency, not citizenship. Stop giving out citizenship and work permits. That's a thought. In the United States, you can get green card. I mean, you got a right to vote. Anyway. That's our time. Thank you so much, Cassius, for being here today. I really do appreciate it. Tomorrow is Wellness Wednesday, and we're going to be talking about inflammation. Bad, bad news. Do not miss tomorrow's show. We're going to learn more about inflammation, what it does to the body, and what you are doing to cause inflammation in your body. Very, very important. Until then, I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thank you so much for tuning in to GPS, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time. Have a good one.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests and not necessarily the opinions of the owners of Global Communications Network and the